sailboat in the moonlight and June. Wouldn't that be heaven? Oh, heaven just for two. A soft breeze on a June night and June. What a perfect setting for letting dreams come true.
Well, back on Windover again, and I'm sure some of you recall a few months ago we did a little reveal on some products that we got from Spartan Marine. Now, Spartan make all the Seacocks that go on Windover. There are 13 of them, if I can remember the number correctly. I keep forgetting, but I believe there are 13 of them that need to be done. Mostly it's replacement of the handles, but also each one of them need to be lapped. Just to refresh your memory, there's a few products that we've got that Spartan have sent to us. Now, first of all, this is the lapping compound, which is a very fine rubbing compound almost. And this is the grease, and these are the handles. So the plan is to open up each Seacock this season and to remove the corrosion inside where the cone meets its receiver. It's all bronze, and to get rid of that corrosion, to remate the two surfaces using the lapping compound. Then we will clean all the abrasive materials out and re-grease it and put them back together again. So a bit of a job, on my knees for the next week or so, but we'll get it done. And those Seacocks will be safe and will function again and be good for another 40 years. So thank you, Spartan, and away we go. Now you can see a few spots there where the Seacock has sat open for some time, and I don't really want to lap it to the point where those absolutely disappear. We do have a seal here where it's lapped perfectly, and here where it's lapped perfectly, so essentially it is sealed. With the grease in there, that'll fill in so there won't be any leakage at all. My concern is I get it down too far to get to this spot, and that's where somebody's left it closed with acidic water on top of it, or salt water, and that water has corroded this little area right here. It's done the same here. So this was the opening to the air, the salt air, and this was the inside the unit where it had been shut for years and years and years. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's clean the lapping compound out of the receiver, grease it up, and we'll put it back together. Mention too that the end of this is not round. There's a little notch there, and this washer has a little notch in it as well, so it sits here like so and locks in, and the little tab that's on there hits a stopper, so you can't turn the Seacock 360 degrees. It only goes 180 degrees. Because of the cramped quarters down below here on this Seacock, I can't get the new longer handles in, so I've taken one of the good shorter handles off of another Seacock, and we use that there, and then replace the other with the longer style. The longer style give me a bit more leverage. They are for a bigger Seacock, but they give me a bit more leverage on that through haul and make it somewhat easier to open. While I'm plugging away on those Seacocks, I've taken on another job as well. You remember the Grampian 30 that we showed in our Backyard Boat Find series? Well, nobody actually picked that boat up, and it was still sitting in the yard here, so we've taken it upon ourselves to repair it, to fix it up, because we did make a claim that this boat would be easily repaired. And so just to demonstrate how easily you could get it going again, we've taken this little project on. So between rain showers, I'm working on Windover back there, or I'm working on this boat here. But this is the Grampian as it sits right now, and she's already gotten a new coat of anti-fouling paint in preparation for launching. That is a BC17, this product. And you can see here as well where we filled the little crack that was along there with Bondo. Now that is not structural. That Bondo is not structural. It actually just serves to plug up the joint that's between the fiberglass and the lead keel, because the expansion and contraction over the winter months causes that to crack open. So they've ground it open a little bit, and then they've added this Bondo, which has got a fiberglass in it as well, so it's got some good strength. And that will be ground fair, nice and smooth again. And then a little bit of epoxy over it. And then we're going to put the anti-fouling over top of that. So hopefully they get a few seasons out of that. But the boat is looking a lot better. The real transformation, though, is in the floor. As you might recall, the stringers in this were rotten, and the flooring was lacking. The big negative on this boat is that there are wooden stringers that support the floor throughout the boat. And sitting on top of those wooden stringers is some 3/4 inch plywood. Now the plywood has started to delaminate, and the stringers certainly have delaminated. You see here. However, there does seem to be a pretty substantial amount of wood left there that well, maybe not that one. And maybe not that one. So, yeah. So this is going to be an issue. So, anyway, it looked worse than it was, so let's go upstairs. We'll have a look at her. Now she's got a little bit of water down below because there are a few leaks that we have to deal with, but we're just running a fan on it now. But you can see here where we've cut the tabbing all the way along, open it up all the way through, giving it a good washing down below. We'll also sand that where the new tabbing is going to go, so it makes good adhesion. We took the base out for the table. That'll have to be glued back in again, and then tabbing will go around that. But it's surprising how quickly this transformation will take place. We took it right out to in front of the head where they'd cut it open in the past. We've removed all the stringers but 2, and we'll replace them all again. Okay, well, I better get this camera out of the rain, but I think she's going to look pretty good when she's done. Let's go over to the workshop and we'll show you how we're building the flooring and the stringers. Come on. I thought maybe some of you would be interested to know how we repaired the floor in that Grampian, or are repairing, I should say, because we're not quite done yet. But basically this is what the old stringers used to look like. They're 3/4 inch plywood, 2 layers of it glued together. And as you can see, I'll show you here, they've completely delaminated like the pages in a book, you know. It's all come apart. Back when I was showing you the Grampian 30 in our backyard boat find series, we suspected that all those stringers were, and as it turns out, there are 6 stringers that are in that condition. So what we've done is we've taken clear cedar, as well as clear as we could expect, and it's white cedar, Canadian white cedar, and we've used it as the stringers. We're going to coat them with epoxy and then fit them nicely in and epoxy them in, glaze them into the boat, so they should be resistant to rot, and more resistant to rot than the plywood. Also, they will not delaminate like the plywood did. So I suspect they're going to be good. So we've also repaired the floor. As you can see, I've cut this large sheet of plywood all up. These are the pieces. They're going to be beveled on these lines here. So the bevel will be like this bevel here. So you can see that. That's where it fits up against the hull. That'll all be done with a grinder as soon as it's dry outside, because right now it's raining. And once that's done, we'll dry fit it all, and then we'll glue it all in. Paint it all up, not in that order necessarily, but we will have a new floor in that Grampian. I guess in total we're probably looking at about 3 days time to put a new floor in it. So not a terrible job, and we've cleaned the bilge up too really nicely, so I think it's going to look factory. So stay with us and we'll keep you updated on that as we move forward. We also have a bit of work to do on Windover, so let's not forget her. That's me.
Talk to me.